Education is so important, and yet during the whole pandemic, it was cast by the wayside, and people warned that we don't want the problems from the illness to be worse than the illness itself because of malady and treatment, poor treatment options. Well, let's see what the governor of New York had to say.
Decisions were made to have all the kids go home and learn remotely. Wow. Wow. What a mistake that was. And the decisions were made.
I think you have to own it at the end of the day. That's absolutely on Democrats and teachers' unions that were more selfish and interested in their own safety than the kids' education. How is it that the people we pay so much money to and the systems that we fund don't seem to work at all for families? In Texas, they're touting parents going into the school and responding as parents. They're available day in and day out to help the teachers and help with security. Well, school is partially daycare and it's partially education. And now they're not doing the education part, as I'll show you in a second, and they're not doing the daycare part either. So what are we paying for? Do you really want to continue this? Well, kids have fallen behind severely. And folks like myself and my wife who homeschool, we knew this would happen. We even moved states to make sure that our kids could continue to maintain social interactions. But what did you get from your elected politicians? The pandemic has had devastating impacts on learning. What will it take to help students catch up? As we reach the 2-year mark of the initial wave of the pandemic, induced school shutdowns, academic normalcy remains out of reach for many children. My wife and I have figured out how to make it a whole lot better for our family. We homeschool, so our kids don't have those setbacks that the rest of the kids have been exposed to. They're getting educated. We just buy the books. Heck, we pay the tax dollars for the regular public schools, and we buy our own educational materials for our kids. However, there is a guy who's got a great idea, school choice, and that's from Corey DeAngelis. He's already got it passed in Arizona. Texas could really use it too. School choice gives parents the opportunity to take funds and move those with you to the school of your choice. So that means you fund the student instead of the system. I've personally corresponded with this dude, and he is fire. He's got a great idea for putting power back in the hands of families and taking it away from the teachers unions that are already failing us. Let's check him out. You want to see how the administration views your kids? Check out Corey DeAngelis. This guy's awesome. And right off the bat, he's always posting about what's going on. Here you go. Kids who don't take the jab aren't going to be allowed to go back into schools. Well, why wouldn't young black kids, folks like my children, folks like me, not want to take that medicine? I don't know. Maybe they remember Tuskegee. Maybe they remember the long history of abuses that people have suffered at the hands of unquestionable government authorities. It happened in the military response to the anthrax vaccine in 1997. There were all kinds of side effects, and eventually they ruled that people need informed consent, just like we learned in Nuremberg, World War II. What was going on? Folks were absolutely experimenting on people and not allowing them to know what was going on, and we can't have that anymore. Here we got Corey. A lot of folks will retweet him, but in general, this guy's fire, and he will get to the heart of these issues, whether it's excluding minorities based on their vaccination status, or just pointing out the fact that these teachers have been lazy for the last couple years and staying home when they should have been teaching the kids. They should have been interested in education. Homeschool kids are doing great. My kids did not fall behind whatsoever. I got a 13-year-old who's doing C# coding. But if you leave your children in the hands of the government and abandon your responsibility as a parent and are pigeonholed beyond that through systems that only allow for one option or another extreme, which is the homeschooling, you can only have your kids in that school or pull them out and do it all yourself. You don't have any options with your funding. So now you know. Fund students, not systems, not unions, not bureaucrats, not administrators. It's time for us to really devote the funds to the kids and their education, because we've got governors admitting it's failing. We got research institutes admitting they failed completely. And we don't have people like Mitch McConnell up there calling this out. So grassroots, it's time for parents to stand up to them and say, you're not going to do this to my children anymore. We're going to have school choice. Now we're going to have the ability to place our children in the best situation. Follow Corey DeAngelis and definitely look for school choice initiatives in your area. Write your congressman, write your senator at the state level so we can get some things changed, especially here in the great state of Texas.